Ministers and AIADMK functionaries hand over cash assistance to the injured party cadre on the orders of Ms. Jaya. AIADMK Women's Wing organizes cancer screening medical camps across Tamil Nadu to mark International Women's Day. And India defeats West Indies to reach the ICC Cricket World Cup quarter-finals. The news in detail. On the behest of the General Secretary of the AIADMK and the People's Chief Ms. Jaya, the ministers and party functionaries visited the AIADMK cadre who was injured in a road accident and undergoing treatment in a private hospital. They handed over the cash assistance on behalf of the party. AIADMK Secretary of the 100th Ward in Anna Nagar, Chennai North District N. Kandan had met with an accident and is undergoing treatment in a private hospital. On hearing about this, Ms. Jaya instructed the ministers to visit Kandan and ordered to provide him with a financial assistance of 50,000 rupees on behalf of the party for his medical expenses. In line with her orders, Minister for Social Welfare B. Valarpati, Minister for Handlooms and Textiles S. Gokula Indra, Annanagar Region Party Secretary A. E. Venkatesan, Chepak Triplicane Region Party Secretary Abdul Karim, alias V. K. Babu, and Annanagar Assembly Constituency Party Secretary S. Amir Basha visited Kandan, who is undergoing treatment at a private hospital in Chennai, and consoled him on behalf of Ms. Jaya. They handed over a cash assistance of 50,000 rupees to Kandan's wife K. Mallika, who is Chennai Corporation 100th Ward Councillor, for the medical expenses. They asked the doctors to provide the best of treatment to Kandan. The family of Kandan, overwhelmed by the kind gesture of Ms. Jaya, expressed their gratitude to the People's Chief. On the orders of the People's Chief, Ms. Jaya, medical camps were held across Tamil Nadu on behalf of the AIADMK for breast cancer and uterine cancer screening for women to mark the International Women's Day. More than 18,000 women from poor economical background were benefited by these camps. Those who were diagnosed with cancer were immediately sent for further medication at the expense of the party. By carrying out complete screening for cancer for several thousand women, a world record was created. Ms. Jaya, who is always concerned about the poor section of the society, has been implementing various schemes for their welfare. Meanwhile, medical camps were held across Tamil Nadu on the orders of Ms. Jaya to mark the International Women's Day. Medical tests to diagnose breast cancer and uterine cancer were done free of cost in these camps. Officials of the Guinness World Records visited the medical camps as thousands of people were expected to take part in it. Minister P. Parniyappan and Secretary of the AIADMK Women's Wing, Sashikala Pushpa MP, inaugurated the camps.
இந்த முகாம் அம்மாவோட திட்டம் எல்லா மக்களுக்கும் ஒரு பயனுள்ளதா இருக்கு. அது முக்கியமா சொல்ல போனா மகளிர்களுக்கு மட்டும் ரொம்ப முக்கியமானதா இருக்கு. இது பாத்தீங்கன்னாக்கல இப்போ ₹1 கூட செலவு பண்ணி கையில இருந்து யாரும் இல்லாத ஏழைங்களா நிறைய இருக்காங்க. நிறைய திட்டங்களை அம்மா உருவாக்கி இருக்காங்க.
Doctors, nurses and specialists from Dharmapuri and areas around it participated in the camp set up in the district. A complete screening for the breast cancer was carried out for several thousand women at the same spot. The medical camps held broke the previous record of the medical camp held at Abu Dhabi in 2014, where medical screening for cancer was done for 971 persons. Guinness World Record official Lucia officially informed the news and congratulated the People's Chief Ms. Jaya for her achievements.
The record title in Dharmapuri was achieved for the largest self-examination for breast cancer with a total of 2,037 women. So congratulations to all for organizing such great event.
In the camp set up at Thiruvarur, as many as 3,000 women took part. Minister R. Vaidilingam declared open the camp in the presence of Minister R. Kamaraj. Cancer screening among various other tests were conducted in the camps. Arrangements were made for further treatment for those who were diagnosed with symptoms of cancer. Pamphlets on cancer awareness were distributed to the people. More than 5,000 women from Karur, Tiruchi, Namakkal, Perambalur and Ariyalur took part in the medical camp held at Karur. Minister V. Sendil Balaji and members of the medical camp declared open the camp. The party's Presidium Chairman inaugurated the camp at Tandayarpet in North Chennai North District.
அம்மா எங்களுக்காக அம்மாக்காக நாங்க ஏழை மக்களுக்காக அம்மா நிறைய சேவை செய்யறாங்க. எங்க நிறைய பயன்படுத்திருக்கோம். நல்லா அம்மா என்னென்றும் அம்மா வெற்றியோட வந்திருக்கோம். அம்மாவுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி.
இங்க வந்து எங்களுக்கு முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுத்து எல்லா டெஸ்ட்டுமே ஃப்ரீயா எடுத்ததால எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. எதுக்கும் நாங்க அலைய வேண்டியதில்லை, எல்லாமே இங்கேயே கிடைச்சிருக்கு எங்களுக்கு. இந்த மாதிரி செஞ்சதுக்கு அம்மாவுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றியை தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறோம்.
இங்க வந்தா ஃப்ரீயா எல்லா செக்கப்புமே பார்த்துட்டோம். நாங்க கை கால் வலி, உடம்பு வலி, புத்துநோய், வாய்ப்புற புண்ணு எல்லாமே பார்த்தாங்க. நல்லா எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு. அம்மாவுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி.
Similar medical camps were held in various other districts, including Dindikal and Vellore districts.
மருத்துவ பரிசோதனை பெண்களுக்காக மகளிர் தினத்தை முன்னிட்டு நடந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறது. இந்த பரிசோதனையில மார்பக புற்றுநோய்க்கு அதிகமாக பெண்கள் வந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். மகளிர் அதிக பயன்பெற்றுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை அம்மாவுடைய தயவினால் நாங்கள் பெண்கள் அனைவருமே நல்லது அடைந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். இதற்கு அம்மாவிற்கு கோடான கோடி நன்றிகளை நாங்கள் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம்.
Even as the Indian government was pressing it not to show the controversial documentary on the December 16th gang rape, BBC decided to go ahead with its telecast of the documentary examining the savage 2012 gang rape and death of a 23-year-old physiotherapy student in New Delhi that sent shockwaves across the world. Even many Indian women's rights groups appeared uncomfortable with the one-hour film that features an interview with one of the rapists who said the victim would have lived if only she had submitted to the rape. On Friday, the Indian government was still lobbying the websites to remove all links to the film, India's Daughter, directed by British filmmaker Leslie Woodwin, after failing to prevent the BBC from putting the film to air in Britain on Thursday night. While government officials managed to secure a court injunction banning the film from being broadcast in India, at least one link to the film received more than 1 lakh views before it was removed, with new links to the film popping up to replace the ones taken down. Indian Home Minister Rajnath Singh said the government had served legal notices on the BBC for failing to secure approval for commercial use of the documentary. The BBC defended the airing of the documentary, which it said gave insight into the mindset of the perpetrators. Meanwhile, the Editors Guild of India today urged the government to revoke the ban on the film India's Daughter to enable people to view what is a positive and powerful documentary touching on the freedom, dignity and safety of women. The documentary was aired on BBC's Channel 4 on Thursday evening and has been available online since then, despite the government securing a court injunction on its screening across media platforms in the country. Due to the continuous efforts taken by the Tamil Nadu government that follows the path forged by People's Chief Ms. Jaya, fishermen, including 19 from Tamil Nadu who were detained by the Seychelles Islands Coast Guard, were released and sent to their hometowns today. The fishermen expressed their gratitude to Ms. Jaya for ensuring the release. The Seychelles Island Coast Guard detained 21 fishermen on January 19th when they ventured into the sea for fishing, alleging that they crossed the borders. On learning about this, Ms. Jaya urged the centre to take immediate steps to ensure the release of the 21 fishermen. Following the steps taken by the Tamil Nadu government, the fishermen were today released by the Seychelles authorities. They reached India and were sent to their hometowns today. The freed fishermen thanked Ms. Jaya for taking swift steps to ensure their release.
மக்களின் முதல்வர் அவர்களுக்கு எங்கள் மீனவர்களை உடனடியாக மீட்டு தர வேண்டும் என்ற கோரிக்கையை வைத்தோம். தமிழக மீனவர்கள் 11 பேரையும் இவர்களோடு இணைந்து கேரளா மீன 8 பேரையும் 19 மீனவர்களை மீட்டு தந்த மக்களின் முதல்வர் அம்மையார் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி.
Former head of the National Directorate of Security of Afghanistan, Amrullah Saleh, blamed Pakistan for supporting the Taliban in Afghanistan on the sidelines of a trilateral conference in New Delhi. Saleh addressed delegates at a trilateral conference China, India, the UK and Afghanistan, a partnership for stability, and shared his problem. The aim of the conference was to bring peace, stability and prosperity to Afghanistan. Saleh, who has served as head of NDA's Domestic Intelligence Agency of Afghanistan from 2004 till 2010, said that if Pakistan stopped backing the Taliban, it will solve many issues in Afghanistan. The Pakistani Taliban are separate from the Afghan Taliban, although they share the goal of establishing an Islamist theocracy.
You see, like any other normal country, we have normal problems. But our extra normal problem is Taliban and backing of Pakistan for the Taliban. And that's a subject these days discussed at various levels, how to make sure Pakistan stops supporting the Taliban, because if Pakistan stops supporting the Taliban, we can solve it, like other problems we have.
Around 200 skiers in the Italian Dolomites had to be rescued by emergency services after being left stranded in their cable cars when fierce winds of 130 kilometers per hour hit the area. The cable car at Val Gardena was deemed unsafe after high winds blew a tree over the cable. Fearing the cable could snap, mountain rescue experts and firefighters were called in to help the stranded skiers. Rescue teams were lowered down from the helicopters onto some 20 cable car cabins, which had been drawn to a halt at about 30 meters above the ground. The news comes as stormy weather wreaked havoc across northern Italy, claiming at least 2 lives. India was given its first scare of the World Cup when West Indies reduced them to 78 for 4 and 134 for 6 in a chase of 183. But MS Dhoni shepherded them through to an eventually comfortable win with 4 wickets in hand and 10.5 overs to spare. West Indies finally displayed some grit and fight with late order runs and some penetrating quick bowling, but the damage done by Chris Gayle at the start of the match was too much to undo. Sunil Gavaskar's 36 of 174 in the first World Cup match of them all. 2 of the worst innings played in the tournament's history in terms of the detrimental impact they had on the team. Gayle put them to shade with his refusal to run singles, accounting for at least 1.5 wickets before trying to make up for those by going on a blind hitting spree, which accounted for him too. In Gavaskar's defence, India were chasing 335 in the 19th ODI of all time, which is a bit like chasing 334 in the 19th T20 International of all time. In the first over of the match, India hardly went up when Gayle had faintly edged one through to the keeper. It was India's 8th consecutive win in the World Cups, equalling their longest streak. More importantly, one of the best finishers in this game rediscovered his touch, sealing off a difficult chase for the first time since July 2013. Fittingly, this made Dhoni India's most successful captain away from home.